Hey guys, my name is Cityyak and welcome back to another episode of City Skylines here in Falls Town. Guys, last episode we built the kind of start towards our Beverly Hills Hollywood area. We even added in our very own version of the Hollywood sign where it says Falls Town, which looks pretty damn beautiful. I asked a lot of you guys to give me some name suggestions on that brand new area, trying to revolve around the Falls kind of name-ish. And we got some pretty good ones, and I've got one that we're going to be using today. But the main importance of today's episode is the fact that we are going to be adding in the export area for the farming section. And I might even look towards doing the kind of cargo, the plane, the cargo airport, to get that back up and running as well in that area. There's a lot of stuff that we need to do today, so hopefully we can get some more infrastructure work in terms of rail network anyway and air all set up for the exports of that area. Because our brand new area right now, if we come back to that in just a moment, we've got the farming, we've got the oil, we've got the ore, and we've got the forest or wood area. They're all together now over this side of the city. So we need not dedicated export areas. I mean, at the moment, each one of them's got their own designated train kind of export terminal, which is really handy. There's one there for the ore, one just here for the wood. There's actually got two over here for the ore, and we need to get one set up for the farming as well. But pretty much what they're doing right now is it's 50-50. They either take it to there, and then when it's all loaded up on the train, it's 50-50. The train then moves out of the city and export it via that route, or whether the train takes a trip all the way downtown to the dock area where it then exports it by ship. Now another one we've got set up over here is the plane, the cargo here. Now this is only connected by a train network, as you can now see, which kind of goes up to here, bends around and goes out. It's not connected up to anywhere else in the city. So I want to get a train network all set up, all back up and running again, so you can pretty much export anything from anywhere and it can travel everywhere in the city. So if you bought stuff in by plane, we can then export it by boat. I want it all to be connected. But first, I want to take a look over this. So this is what we did last episode. Again, it's the start of it. So for Thorn Hills, we some game name sessions, and the best one was this. It was, I got the right note. It was Folio Woods. So it's kind of like Hollywood. Folio Wood didn't sound correct, but Folio Woods sounds perfect. That is our very own version of the Hollywood district. And of course we got our sign just over here, Falls Town. It's glorious, right? Again, and so let's focus on what we're doing today then. So I've kind of mentioned it before in the past, that I want a train export route over here. Now if you look at it all, there's a kind of pattern you follow when you come to this area. You come in, you pick up the goods in this area over here, you take it to the storage in this area over here, you come down to the production buildings over here, and then you go off in any other way to export it. So they kind of create this loop effect. Now if you look at it, you can see it all coming together. It's going over here, it's up here, it's down here. Not much traffic goes on this road here, because they kind of cut this road out, the majority of them do. Because when you get the goods, they go to the storage, it's over here, so they use this road up there or that road and then come down there. So this is a good little place to put the train depot on, so to speak. Is it called a train depot? It's not, it's called a cargo terminal. Get it right, fool. And we're going to stick it here, which would be a good little spot. Which means we're going to do a load of railway networking. So the closest railway at the moment is just over here. So I want to connect this up. So I'm thinking I'm going to do something that brings it round, that follows it down around here, and then maybe comes around here and bends around, because I want to then use it if I eventually push it over into other areas up there. I want to make sure I still got it. And then off this here, it kind of bends around, comes up, and it will follow the highway down, which then will come down and connect down to here. In some way, shape or form, that's what I want to do. Because at the moment, there is, if I kind of view it, it's kind of hard to view anyway, but we have a train route here that comes in, that pretty much comes in, bends round, goes through and ends there. That's all that place goes. The one that comes from this side here comes all the way down, goes underground just here, and it comes to this train terminal here, cargo terminal, and stops there. So we have two train inlet routes that just go to one stop and that's it. So I want to get both of those two connected up to the main grid, which this comes in here, goes many different places, goes underground for the city, hooks up many spots, pops back out to here, connects to this one. So that one we just seen and this one here are both connected to the dock area, and we need to get all four of them connected properly. So this is going to be a lot of fun to play around with. Again, and right, so let's start with the train network, and let's get the trains set up. And I think what I'll do first is we'll play around with well, I won't connect up to any of the network just yet. We'll play around with kind of getting the cell before we do connect it, just so we don't have any trains coming through. And what I want to do is start it from down here. So we're going to intertwine it through this connection here, and as it comes along, we'll bridge it up by one. And then, can I bring it down? Oh, it's going to be... No, I kind of need to keep it up, don't I? So if we keep it like to there, try and get it to go across if possible. Might have to do some form of a collision. But then start to bring it down. So this is going to be fun trying to get that there. And we'll just use the move it tool now just to play around with the spacing of it. And there we go. And let's select this and then kind of bring that down so it creates that slope, which will look pretty cool. Bring this one down as well. And that one slightly. Because of how tall it is and how harsh the slope is, you don't want it too big. And that actually looks really cool going across there, doesn't it? I kind of like that. There's no, yeah, it got rid of the thing underneath, so it's not connecting to the highway in that sense. And then we basically want, now if I create that there, and then brought this round, and then with a straight connection, go straight up like that. So it kind of sticks to it in a sense, and then that's when we slowly start to see it bend away from the highway. So it sticks to it, then it slowly starts to bend away from the highway, as it then's going to make its left-hand turn to kind of go around and connect up down there, which is pretty cool. Now, I don't know whether to keep the majority of it in the air, because when we get to this point, I'll put the snapping back on there. So to this point here, we'll kind of bridge it up. And like I said, I don't know whether to keep it in the air for anything that's running alongside there, or kind of bring it down. I don't know what the best method will be. But I have a feeling at some point, this road, as it bends round, will have a connection coming off. So yeah, we might just keep the whole thing in the air. But if I was to bend this around like this and then bridge it up, how much do I get to play around with the spacing of this now? Do I have it completely go across, or should we continue the bend round? It's quite a steep bend there to begin with, isn't it? So if we bring it up gradually, it looks 10 times better. So do I create like a sharper turn like that for the railway? I could do that, but I kind of want to see where this falls. Having it kind of pushed up to here. So if I kind of drop that in there, so good with the it looks glorious. That does, having that chug along with the trains going across. So let's see how this would play out. Well, that's too much of a bend. Again, that's too much of a bend too. I don't want to mess with that. How about if I brought it up really, really far? That could be cool. Let me go. Oh, am I doing bend still? Right, there we go. We're just gonna have to move it tool. Just push that in a bit. So it doesn't create anything that goes across, does it though? So I really like how that swings around. So it comes around and swings over like a different curvature to how the road would be. So as you're kind of driving down, you're looking at this glorious rail network. It kind of passes over and you go through it again. Because it leaves it open for us to do other stuff with it. I might even stick a roundabout on there. If this place gets too busy when we add additional stuff to it. But for right now, I like that because it adds a little bit of something. It adds a little bit of character to that whole corner, doesn't it? Which I really like. Let me just sort this out then, because that is now a little bit higher than I would pretty much bring that down. So the steep is more of a gradual process now. It's not so like harsh. So it should make the trains flow a little bit better up that hill, which is all good. And then this one's the interesting one at this point now. Because obviously this is going to come up. It's going to kind of do the same thing as like this. It's going to bend over. Actually, I really like this idea we're playing around with. But first, let me take a look at how I want it to work here. So when it comes up, I want it to kind of go underneath the two highways here, but then pop up through the middle. If that makes sense. So if I was to do that, and then bring this down here. Let's take the snapping off so we can merge it a little bit better. There we go. We take it from there, and then if we kind of bring this out and then scoop it back up again, which should work out really well in our favor. There we go. How does that look? So it dips down to go under, then pops back up to come out, which is actually really, really cool. I like that. So we just got to bring this down. So I'm going to keep this one in the air as well. So let's keep the snap on. There we go. And is that going to be too high at this point? It looks like it might be a little bit too... No, we take the snap off. Let me get it going straight. You can hear the fire engines and stuff ringing their alarms. What if I brought it down? No, it's kind of floor level, that is, isn't it? So I brought it to there. It does look quite steep, doesn't it? Alright, we keep it going. We'll do it like gradually. Right, we pause it because we are going to delete that now. And it might cause us some issues. Right, we get it to that point there. We're going to have to move this. So I'm not sure what it's quite doing there. It's a little bit pointless, isn't it? But let's connect these back up. Nice and simple. Put it back into play mode now at this point. Right, great. Okay then, so let's get this train networks now back up and running. So we'll bring it out to here, page it up. Now this is the interesting one, is now seeing this come together. So that's a good little spot there to drop it in. And if I delete back by one, allows us to do a nice simple straight solid connection. Goes up the hill. I love how these come in and bend round like they do. I really like it. It adds some definition, a little bit of character to this area. But let's of course drop this down slightly. Great stuff. Oh, I'm so impressed. I'm so impressed. Okay. Right, so they're still not technically connected to the network just yet. But we'll keep chugging along with this one. So that kind of sticks up. Now, this is another question. Do I have this in the middle stay at this kind of level? Like we have it like raised in the middle. That's going to be floating the whole way down, isn't it? So if I took that off. Yeah, okay, right. Let me delete that. We'll keep it at the same level. Oh, this is going to be fun, isn't it? This is going to be a lots of... Oh, wait, let me take the snapping off. Yeah, it's definitely going to be lots of fun trying to get this in. Right, okay, so what if we... Straight... Okay, I'm going to pause a second. And bring it up. So bring it to here, but then bring it underground at that point. Just bear with me a second. I'm trying something here. I'm trying something. Bring it back up. And then the highway. So that doesn't disrupt that too much. And it goes underground at that point, so we don't disturb the whole highway running along. Because I kind of need it to go underground at some point when we get down to here. So, with that said, let's take all that off. Let's go underground. Where's the connection? It's just over here. Right. It hasn't got to connect too much, but this should do the job. So it comes down to... Now this is what I want to try and do is... Bring that in there. Bring that in there. But it connects round like that. So it creates the back and forth connection. But it's done in a way that merges on the hill there, which is pretty sweet. And that should be connected at one side. And then we'll do the same now over here. So I'm going to keep it paused for now. So, okay, right. Let's... I've got to try and figure out where I want it also to take place. So that works there. Well, of course. And let's use the move it tool. Just to play around with angles. So we kind of lose the connection just here. There we go. And then how far can I push this before we lose the connection? Right, sweet. We get away with that, which is good. And then technically that's now all pulled back in. So this is now connected up. So this can start now getting used as an export area. It might take a while before we start seeing them come to this area and export those goods. But the highway, I mean the line is now connected. Interestingly enough, this line is now connected to the other three lines all the way down to the dock area, which is perfect. But we might need a bypass for this. And I've got another good idea. So it comes around here and goes through. It's going to have to go through there and bypass. So another quick... We've got this kind of weird connection over here, haven't we? So if I pause it once more, we'll use this, like, treat this as the bypass. So delete the height of all of this a second. Just to there. And where that goes up to there, we could just simply make that go underground around here. And connect up underground to it down there. Just to keep everything away from itself. And that then creates that bypass to go through. So you've got to go all down here to go round. So I just want to create the bypass here as well. So underground. We just... Oh, let's do it with this one. So underground. And it's kind of got to go in both ways. And we'll bring this back from a little bit further. Why has it done that? The whole thing goes underground. Why did I decide to just go pop up and go, hello, I'm here. Well, that's now all underground, which should be all at the same level, which it looks like it is. to then literally spread itself up to, which is, it's going to look weird. I mean, for now, I was going to do a straight line like this because it doesn't affect anything above ground. If it ever does in the future, we can then go on to adjust it, but for now, it's fine. So back in then, and let's sort this out. So as soon as this gets up to this level, we kind of then want to bring it back down. So bring it back down here. Perfect. And then it runs up. And then we can create this, and then off it goes. A few little tweaks and adjustments we're going to have to kind of play around with now. There we go. Perfect. That bends around there, but obviously we've got to bring this one up too at this point. So back to it then, underground, which is just here. Okay, so now it's there. Let's see. Oh, let's come back above. Let's see how we can play with this junction. So delete what we've just created. Now we know how far we can pull it out by. And we almost want to create, not a, I mean, I'm not going to say a roundabout, because that's a bit silly. But it's almost, it's almost we need to create a roundabout, so to speak. Right, so what we do is we bring this one earlier. And we delete it back a little bit further. So we pull this back a lot earlier, so it creates that bend there. But then a little bit earlier on, it brings up a secondary bend. Right, and then same thing goes on here too. Brings a secondary bend. Right, play the spacing in just a moment. That kind of goes alongside of it. It looks so weird at this point. Alright, bring it all in slightly. I don't know why. Do you know what? It's easier for me just to delete it. And then freaking redo it. Right. It's just easier at that point to do something like that. So, like that. And then, that could work, but the bend's too much. The bend's way too much. It might be easier if we do it this side. Yes. About there. Sticks out a little bit more on that side than this side. So we've only got to adjust this one side now. And all we need to do now then is connect it up there. So if you're coming down here, you want to go that way over to here. You just kind of take the first one, but then this comes down, and there's a nice simple connection there. But at the same time, that's a nice simple connection there. So you can pretty much go any way you want now, depending on which route you take, which line you take. And it all works. So let me just kind of squeeze this in a bit. Push that out a bit as well. Create a nice little bit of a bend on that. Trying to create more of a bend here too, which works. Oh, I didn't realise it's such a gradient slope there. I didn't realise that. Right, let's pull it up a bit. Not too much because it now looks slightly ridiculous. But that works. So that creates that glorious bypass for that area. So the only railway network that is now not hooked up to the whole main grid of things is this one over here. Now it pretty much ends there, So I could do this simple and usual thing, make it go on the ground, connect it up, but I kind of don't want to do that area like that. We have no rail kind of split through. Hang on. Oh, wrong one. There we go. It's easier just to view it like this. Yeah. We have no rail split through. It kind of, the rail goes up here. It bends around the outskirts of the city. So I could keep that same momentum going with it, going around the outskirts of the city. Or I could just keep this side of the city on this river altogether on its own. It's something that I don't know what I should do about that. Or ultimately, what I could do is like how this... Right, let's get rid of this now. Like how this pops out here. Let's say I had... Take this snapping off there. A little bit that came underground and then popped up here. Like that. So something as simple as that, but then I'm going to have to turn off the collisions on now, because obviously it wouldn't go through this if I tried normally. Let's just see how it would fly. So if I brought it down to here, does it affect things? Is it being flooded? Is that what's happening right now? Or should I wait for the water to pass? I feel like I'd do that first. Right, and what I could do is I could have brought this up to here. There we go. We'll play around with that just in a second. It's just this little section here, isn't it? Right, let's go back under. Right, I can get this to actually work to a certain degree, but it can't be the way I'm previously doing it. Right, there we go, nice little wiggle. So it bends round, which is good. And then it sticks to this side, as you can see. So it goes literally all under the park. Oh, I didn't realize how low that was. I don't know why it does that, man. It's so annoying when it pops up the top. It's not perfect. Eventually, when this area is up here built as well, I might have to do something a lot different with it. But that is just for now to connect up the two sides. So it would bring you over to here. I mean, if you wanted to go completely round from here, it's not efficient. From here to the dock area, it's a long travel you've got to do. It is a very, very long distance you've got to travel. But it's not impossible. Is the thing I'm trying to point out right now. It's not impossible. Right, okay, then. So we've got now vehicles leaving. Oh, trains leaving, going both ways by the looks of it. What's this one exporting over here? It's got the it's got a load from other places. I wonder if we're going to see trains take this route. Or they might not even take this route to begin with, because obviously I don't know how soon I ran it before I got this one in. But where are you going with this? They're now taking this out. Okay, so that's an export to get out of here, not to the dock area. So it's all over the place. It's vice versa. You know, you get it some places going some places you don't get it going others, if that makes any sense. But this one now leads me on to start thinking about the plane export area. Now, that also could be, it can also be connected via a train as well. I don't know whether to put it on top of this mountain. I just don't know. Or I don't want to stick it over here because I want more housing to come up to here. Or whether I set something up in the distance over there would be the best option. It might need a highway, it might not. I'm not 100% on where I want to put it. I want it somewhere with a good highway connection. I mean, I could flatten or smoothen all this chunk out here. Have a little good connection up there. Could be a good little spot. Let me know what you guys think about where I could possibly place in the plane cargo terminal for the plane route. I am thinking like up here will be a good little spot. But I want to know what you guys think about it. I want to know what you guys think about it. Pretty cool to find out. Right. Okay. So let's let the trains run for a bit, because they're going to take in many different routes and stuff like that now. They're kind of going to be all over the place. Now, where's this train going? Is that going to take one of the, the new loop down there? Or is that going like all the way down to the other area? No, it's going all the way down there. So wait, I gotcha. Well, this is pretty dope. It's actually pretty dope, man. We're going to have trains coming. There's 2 new import routes for the train line that can get to the dock area. But as long as it sticks to this one section over there, it might have some congestion, which is why we'd have to eventually build another section running through. But before we do all that in the future anyway, Folio Woods is coming along just great. We keep dipping and losing money all the time, which is inevitable. Are we losing a lot of deaths? We got more deaths than births, of course we do. That always happens. But I want to kind of build like a small little town around this region that is just simply, an outskirt town. So I might do like a bunch of outskirt towns, like little satellite towns and stuff like that for the workers and stuff like that, which would be pretty cool. Because we did have some originally. I want to keep all this for the Hollywood section and whatnot. Keep it as it is. But I'm thinking like something. I mean, we could squeeze a little one just like over here. Would be a good little spot. Or maybe like base them off the worker areas for each region that we have. Because that's where we got like employees living, and we have the same kind of over here as well. So why don't we have like normal residential buildings? I feel like that'd be a cool little thing to add in. There's a subway line there too. So if we drop in houses in these little gaps, add in a few extra residents to the place. This changes things slightly, doesn't it? Has it got enough water? Yeah, you got enough little water in that area. Because the workers are living in here anyway, so why don't we have small little towns, little communities of people living here? Don't want to go too crazy, but it does make sense, doesn't it? They've all got water too, and we got the same kind of setup over here as well. So let's just drop these down where we can. Now, these got water? Yes. So it's only a small little boost. It'll provide workers for the area around it. Bring it alive a little bit more. There's nowhere for them to do any shopping and stuff like that. And education, even though we got the landmark for like everyone's educated kind of thing, it is a little bit far out the way, so you might not get the fully educated people living in these areas. But it will be pretty cool to see them moving in. Just dotted around slightly, they all get little jobs and whatnot. So we've got no one moving in just yet. How long until we get families moving in? It'll probably take a while. We're still trying to push the 400,000 mark, which we've been floating around for such a long time. So we want to try our best at some point to kind of get over it, which would be pretty sweet. But we haven't done any major kind of city expansion. We still got to do this area down here, which would be pretty glorious as well. We still need to add in the theme park back in too. But let's add some needs for these fools over here. So policing then, we'll just go for like a smaller, we'll create this little cross here as the little section for it. So we'll add in policing. We'll add in some fire. We'll add in some healthcare. We'll do like a little clinic. There we go, and do a crematorium next to it. That's all the services we're going to need just there. satisfy all of those people. We'll eventually see the new folks moving in. So do we get any... that is a subway line, isn't it? No, it's a taxi stand, not a subway line. I'm so foolish. So foolish. But our population's now growing. We've got 2 to 3 households. Got to wait for them to arrive. Fully move in. There's no like local stores around or anything like this here. Do we have police and stuff over here? We have a police station just there, but apparently there's crime a few doors down. How can the police not realise there's crime a few doors down? Oh dearie me. Sounds like they're not doing their job. Am I right, folks? Okay, so exports should be on the rise then. So the Hamilton Estate, which is the farm area, should slowly start to see not only more workers getting involved, but we should slowly start to see more profit too, because now the export area is so close to it. I'm surprised that we're importing so much as well, considering that the production levels is ridiculously high. So that's really interesting to kind of see that too. Right, people are moving in over here now. So yeah, people are moving in. We're actually closing up on 400,000 right now. So it might take a while before we start seeing them people. Oh, another thing as well, apparently I got this the wrong way around. It was this one here. Come up a level. That on-ramp here was facing the wrong way around. I fixed that too. So foolish of me, so foolish. So can anybody think, if anybody can think of any stuff that I don't have in the city just yet? Somebody mentioned previously about adding in a race course, like a racetrack for like cars. Which I thought was a really good idea, but if anyone knows what the mod is for that, let me know in the comment section, and I'll check it out and see if it's any good. I mean, that's something that we might add in the future. A nice little racetrack to the area, which would be pretty cool. Right, people moving in. Okay, now we're getting cars coming over to this area as they now slowly starting to move in, which of course is going to increase some upgrades. I'm surprised this is so profitable for how small this is. I feel like we need to buy more land and expand it a little bit. Alright, these guys haven't got the power. And why is that? Oh, because this is not fully connected up to the grid in a way, is it? So I placed a couple there. That should connect it all up. That should get rid of their electricity problems. There we go. Glorious, mate. Have they moved in over here just yet? Not yet. I'm not seeing any residential cars make their way over just yet. They're probably jumping off the highway very soon. I feel like there's one now. Yeah, they're going to their residence right now. So they're arriving. You can see a bunch of cars now coming for that. Anybody over here made their way over here just yet? I'm not sure where they're going to be travelling from. Oh, there we go. No, worker at the farm building, resident at... over here. Oh, okay. So yeah, this is actually bringing some workers to the farm area, which is pretty cool as well. Very happy with this. We got a little bit of a traffic jam over here right now with the trains. They're using the little bypass route down here, which is great. Again, everything is going to come through this route in terms of the other 2 lanes of like train transport. So I've got to think of a new little area to work with. So I might create an on and off area here, which filters down on the ground there, which that could bend round and maybe connect up to this other side of this, possibly. So we have another route of the city running through. That's something that we might have to do. Even though I've got the highway, one of the runways going the right way round right now, they're still spinning around. Only 1 in so many do that now. Before it was like nearly every plane, but only 1 in like 10 planes now do it, which is interesting. I can't believe how big Foolstown is right now, and there is so much stuff we've got to do, but it's like I've got to lay off the infrastructure before I can fully expand. Man, I feel like next episode I need to work over on this area again and bring more people to this. We need to create a little highway connection just down here. But it just looks half finished. More this side. I feel like we should get this side completed actually. It just kind of falls off at this land. and keep growing back. So much we got to expand and get over here. Oh, there's so much stuff we're going to have to do and get done, which is pretty exciting. I can't wait for it. I cannot wait. Well, people are now moving over here. You can see the vehicles now arriving, which is good. And we're getting more money from the exports. 23,000, which is not bad. I'm watching the workers go up. It's actually gone up by 20 workers. I've been paying attention to it, which is all good in the hood. So, again, we're pushing that 400,000. We're slowly getting there. We are slowly getting there, but the game is like super slow for me. Tis what it is. But anyway, guys, we're going to end it here anyway. We've only done some slight expenditure work, but we got the highway or the train network kind of set up. I'll see how it goes before next episode, and I might work on adding another train line, just cutting cross over here somewhere, just to kind of not make them have to go all the way around to the back of the map and then back down. Create some shorter routes to the export area. See how things go. But ultimately, I hope you did enjoy this, guys. We've got the base of stuff set up, and now, as of next episode, we can go back to our regularly scheduled upgradings, trying to get as much of the map filled in and expanding our population. So I might look at, well, do you know what? We're going to look at kind of completing this area over here, because we have this lone subway station that's not really doing much. Apart from being the switchover route if you want to get to the airport, which is pretty cool. So we're going to get all this up and running and set up as well towards the beach. Might expand the beach houses down a little bit back further as well and further down the road, which should be pretty cool. But anyway, guys, hope you did enjoy. If you did, smash that like button down below. And until next time, I'll see you all soon. So good.